Hi students, how did you write the exam? As per the feedback of the students, the forenoon session paper of civil engineering is moderate level. Not very easy, not very tough. It is moderate level. So the discussion what we are going to take up now is based upon the memory oriented questions given by the students. So there may be a chance of missing data, missing numerical values. There may be chance of discrepancy in the units. But however, once the response sheet is open, we'll discuss with exact answers and solutions. And as per the student data, this is the breakup. Numerical answer type questions in overall paper, there are 22 number. Multiple choice questions are 35. Multiple select questions are 8. Slowly the multiple select questions are increasing in number and multiple choice questions are higher here. That means there is more scope of negative marking. There is no negative marking for numerical answer type and multiple select type. As multiple choice questions number is more, there is a scope of overall negative. So you have to be careful about this point. And coming to the weightages, these weightages are almost the same as of the previous years. And highest weightage as usually from geotechnical. As per the data available from the students, there are 7 2-mark questions and 3 1-mark questions. So totally 14 plus 3, 17 marks from GT. So the highest weightage is from GT as usual, as expected only. But as per this data, it is slightly higher side. It is showing slightly higher side. And next, coming to environmental engineering, 3 2-mark questions and 4 1-mark question. So totally it is 3 into 2, 6 plus 4, 10 marks. It is also as usual. Now coming to the transportation, as per the data, 2 2-mark questions plus 3 1-mark question. That means 4 plus 3, 7, slightly lesser weightage compared to the previous years. But however, this is based upon the feedback from the students. So we'll just discuss few questions which are available with us. We'll take up the questions from transportation and railways. Look at this question. This is from traffic engineering. All the vehicles that come during a particular peak hour come during 10 minutes period within this. So all the vehicles during the peak hour came within 10 minutes of time. The 15-minute peak hour factor is. That means all these maximum number of vehicles were there in 10 minutes. That 10 minutes will be within one slot of 15 minutes. So you have only traffic in one 15-minute time slot. And all the 3 15-minute time slots, there is no traffic. And if you want a peak hour factor, it is actually Q by 4 into Q15. So Q is the total traffic during the peak hour. So in one slot of peak hour, you have a traffic of X, and all the remaining 3 slots, you have 0 traffic. Divided by 4 into highest of the 4 values. Highest of the 4 values is X. So it is nothing but 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is nothing but 0.25. So the answer is option B. Simple question. Every year there is a question from peak hour factor, and a similar question came this year also. Now coming to the next question, it is from the material testing. In the context of testing of bitumen, which one of the following is false? Be careful about this. They are asking you which is false statement. It is a multiple choice question. Ductility is measured in units of length. Usually ductility is elongation. We measure in centimeter or millimeter. So this statement is true. Next, depth of penetration of needle in standard penetration test is measured in unit of 1/10 of millimeter. In penetration test, in the penetrometer, the least count is 1/10 of mm. So this is also true. Softening point is measured in units of time. Softening point is the point, the temperature at which bitumen becomes soft and starts flowing. So it is not the unit of time, it is the unit of temperature. So this is our false statement. Before you choose this as an answer, even though it is a multiple choice question, we look at the last option. Softening point is measured by ring and ball apparatus. Yes, we measure the softening point temperature by ring and ball apparatus. So the option D is also true. Answer is option C. Now coming to the next question, the maximum degree of curve that can be used for railways in mountainous region. So it is a vague question given, whether it is broad gauge, meter gauge or narrow gauge, nothing is specified. Maximum most will come in narrow gauge. In case of narrow gauge, especially in mountainous region, the maximum degree of curve is 40. So stick on to option C. Next, coming to the numerical question, which again comes in material testing. During determination of bulk specific gravity of compacted bitumen specimen, the mass in air of the specimen is 1260 grams and volume is given as 525 cc, centimeter cube. The density of water is 1 gram per cc. The theoretical maximum specific gravity of the mix is given to us. Theoretical GT is given to us. GT is without air. The percentage air voids they are asking you. First we will calculate the bulk specific gravity. Our measured specific gravity is gamma m by gamma of water. Gamma of water is equal to 1 gram per cc. So this is directly gamma m. Gamma m is weight of the specimen by volume of the specimen. The weight is 1260 grams. Volume is given as 525 cc. So this ratio comes out to be 2.4. GM is 2.4. They are asking you volume of air voids VA is equal to GT, theoretical specific gravity, minus measured specific gravity with respect to theoretical into 100. So GT we know, substitute 2.510 here, GM is 2.4 and 2.510. If you calculate, this is 4.38%. VA is 4.38%. So the percentage of air voids in the bituminous concrete mix is 4.38. With the data available from the students, this is the answer. Now look at this question. This is from traffic engineering again. For the given speed density relationship, the speed density relationship is given by the graph. Speed on y-axis, density on x-axis. They are asking you the maximum traffic flow, the Qmax they are asking you. Usually, as per green shield, we have linear speed density relation. So in this graph, it is given that there is uniform speed up to a density of 10 and then there is decreasing speed with increasing density. To have the maximum density, what I am doing is, I am extending this line. I am extending this line with the same slope. So, this is 100 here and this is 10 and this is 90. This value U max will calculate. This is nothing but our maximum density or jam density, K max or Kj. So, from similar triangles, if you take this triangle 90 by 100 minus 10, tan theta is equal to, here it is U max by 100. So, this is 90 by 90 is 1 and U max is equal to 100 directly. So, this value is directly 100. Now, we can use Q max, maximum flow is equal to K max by 2 and U max by 2. As per the jam density is concerned, 100. So, 100 by 2 and U max extended value I am taking 100 by 2. So, 100 by 4 is equal to 25 into 00. So, this is 2500 vehicle per hour. Okay. So, the answer is 2500 vehicle per hour. This is the highest value, we are getting it out. Okay. Now, coming to the one question of RCC, this is from the concrete technology. Which one of the following statements is incorrect? Again, they are asking you the false statement here. Be careful to identify this point first. Look at the first option, compressive strength depends on water to binder ratio, water to cement ratio. Yes, as per Abram, the water cement ratio is very much important point, very much important parameter which decides the compressive strength. So, the first statement is true. Option A is true. Coming to option B, compressive strength depends upon the curing condition, temperature and humidity, correct? So, compressive strength directly depends upon the curing condition, temperature of the site and also humidity of the particular place. Coming to the option C, second is also true. Coming to option C, air dried and saturated specimen show same compressive strength. So, this is our false statement because air dried specimens may not get proper moisture for gaining the strength. So, air dried specimen will have slightly lesser compressive strength compared to saturated or moist concrete. So, C is false. Before we tick that answer, just look at the fourth option also. Compressive strength varies with the shape, size of the specimen. Up to a particular slenderness ratio, compressive strength depends upon the shape of the specimen and size of the specimen also, up to a particular slenderness ratio. And later on, it is independent. But however, this is also true statement as it is a multiple choice question, as per the data available. So, this is correct. Then the wrong option is option C. Actually, up to a particular slenderness ratio, the compressive strength decreases with the increase in slenderness ratio and also depends upon the shape. So, as per the data, if it is a multiple choice question, answer is option C. So, this is the data from the transport and concrete technology. Balraju sir will come and take up CPM and PERT. Sir, please.
So coming to next subject, construction planning and management. As usual, only 1 or 2 questions we expect in GATE paper. So this year also we had only 1 question, that is a 2 marks question. And I'm not sure, a few students said that it is a MSQ and a few students are saying that it is MCQ. So just if you have any idea, please type in live session so that we'll get the clarity. Anyway, so if you look at the question, identify the correct statement from the following regarding construction management. So this question is related to scheduling tools. Almost all tools are covered here. If you look at the option A, Gantt charts are used to find the critical activities. So basically Gantt chart is only suitable for small works, that too it will have a lot of limitations. In early days we had Gantt chart, and after Gantt chart we have milestone chart, linked bar chart, CPM and PET. So what are the main drawbacks of Gantt chart? It cannot show the critical path. So Gantt chart are used to find the critical activity is absolutely wrong. It is false. So our interest here, actually correct statement you have to identify, not wrong statement, only true statement you have to identify, it is a false. So coming to option B, the free float is amount of time by which the activity can be delayed without affecting the following activity. It is absolutely right. So total float is a permissible delay without affecting completion of the project. Free float is a permissible delay without affecting succeeding or next activity or following activity. It is absolutely right. Independent float means it cannot affect either next activity as well as preceding activity. But right now free float is absolutely right. It is actually a true statement. The free float is a true statement. So now correct statement means option B is right. Now don't declare only option B, you can look at the remaining options also. Dummy activity uses resources and time. Actually dummy activity never be using any resource or time. It is a fictitious activity, it does not consume time or resources. So it is dummy activity uses mentioned, no, it is a false statement. So no doubt option C we can delete, A you can delete, C. Coming to confusion part is option D. What is given in the option D? PET network is used in the project time where uncertainties are included. This is absolutely right. So the very reason for PET is uncertainty. So PET is well suited for research and development works where uncertainty is involved. So it is absolutely right answer. Free float definition is exactly right and option D also right. So as per your data, I am presenting the answer. There are 2 options true in this case. Option B, option D, it must be MSQ because there are 2 answers for this question. And no more discussion on this. If it is MCQ also, option B is going to be right. Even without word, with affecting means okay, then it may be false. Without affecting means it is absolutely right. And you cannot remove option D. Option B, option D both are correct. So this is regarding this question. So please verify whether it is MSQ or MCQ. I am sure it is MSQ because we have 2 answers. Okay. So next, the next subject will be Pawan sir will take care about the Geotech.
So now let's see the geotechnical engineering questions. Though we got the data of 10 questions, but out of that we tried to acquire only 6 questions. Let's see what are the questions that we got. So now there is a question from the foundation engineering, that too from shallow foundations. So the question goes as, a 6 by 6 square footing considered in a clay is subject to a vertical load of 2500 kilonewtons. So the structural load is 2500 kilonewtons, whereas the footing is a square footing. The base of the footing is 2 meters and below, which is as shown in the figure, and the footing is made of 2 meters thick concrete. So where the thickness of the concrete footing and the depth of the footing both are same. The groundwater table is at great depth, which means there is no effect of water table. Considering Terzaghi bearing capacity theory, the factor of safety against bearing capacity. So they have given the details of the unit weight of the concrete, and they have given the details of the soil also, where phi value is equals to 0, and they have mentioned the bearing capacity factors NC, NQ, N gamma. What to be found over here is factor of safety. This is one of the design element. So now whenever we design, for safe design, always net pressure must be less than or equals to net safe bearing capacity, or gross pressure must be less than or equals to safe bearing capacity. So now first let's see how to find out the net pressure. So from the given data, whatever the load, this is a column load, the 2500 kilonewtons is a column load. Apart from that, so this is not a small footing, there is a 6 by 6 footing of thickness 2 meters. So we need to include the self weight of the footing. Then what would be the total gross pressure is pressure due to the column load and pressure due to the self weight. So the gross pressure goes as the pressure due to the column load, which is nothing but 2500 by area of the footing, as it is a square footing, 6 square, plus what is the pressure due to the self weight of the footing, which is nothing but unit weight of the concrete into its depth. So unit weight of the concrete, gamma C into 2. This is nothing but the gross pressure. You can go either Q less than or equals to Qs or Qn less than or equals to Qns. So let's find out the net pressure also. What is the net pressure? Gross pressure minus gamma D. So the net pressure will be like 2500 by 6 square plus 24 into 2 minus unit weight of the soil, which is nothing but 19 into 2. This will becomes as 79.44 kilopascals. So that will be the net pressure. Once we know the net pressure, then for safe condition, Qn must be less than or equals to Qns, where I can take it as Qn is equals to Qns. And Qn is equals to, Qns means net ultimate bearing capacity by factor of safety. And given is a square footing. So, and moreover, the given N gamma is equals to 0. In the case of the clay soils, N gamma 0 width effect is neglected, where NQ is equals to 1. So, the QNU is equals to 1.3 CNC plus gamma D into NQ minus 1 plus 0.4 into gamma B N gamma. Anyways, N gamma 0, so neglect the width effect. NQ is 1, 1 minus 1, so you can neglect the surcharge effect also. What will be the net ultimate bearing capacity? 1.3 CNC. So now, if I substitute, the net pressure will be like 79.44 is equals to 1.3 into, cohesion is given as a 50 into NC 5.7 by, the factor of safety goes as, you need to find out the factor of safety. So after solving this, the factor of safety would be 4.66. The correct answer is, factor of safety is a 4.66. So there's a 2 marks question from shallow foundations. Okay. Now let's see this question, question number 2. In an odometer apparatus, a specimen of a fully saturated clay has been consolidated under a vertical pressure of 100 kilopascals. So initially we applied a pressure of 100 kilopascals, and due to that 100 kilopascal soil has already completely consolidated, which means the entire 100 kilopascals is taken by the solids. So at that point, what is the pore water pressure? 0. What is the effective stress? 100 kilopascals. Because it is mentioned, it is consolidated. Now they reached the equilibrium state, which means end of the consolidation. Immediately on increasing the vertical stress to 150 kilopascals, So initially how much? 100. Now it has been increased to how much? 150. So what is the increase in the stress is 150 minus 100, which is 50 kilopascals. Now the question is, when you increase this 50 kilopascals, then what will happen? Does it taken by the solids directly? No. Initially that 50 kilopascals will be taken by the water. So are they asking after a long time or immediately? Immediately. Immediately after increasing from 100 to 150, that increment of 50 will be taken by water. So immediately whatever the increase in pore water pressure is nothing but increase in the total stress, which is nothing but 50 kilopascals. And not only the excess pore water pressure, they are asking about the effective stress also. Then what would be the effective stress? Due to the increment, there will be no change in effective stress. Delta sigma dash is 0. So initially, how much was there? 100. So now that effective stress is initial effective stress plus change in effective stress. The initial effective stress is 100 and change will be 0. So the effective stress will be 100 kilopascals. Answer is option A. Effective stress 100 and change in pore water pressure is 50 kilopascals. Now come to the third question. This was a similar question, this is a question similar which was asked in GATE 2016, exactly same, just a change in the data. So calculate the discharge in centimeter cube per second. If the permeability of the soil 1, so it is a layered deposit or anisotropic soil where two soils are interconnected over here, soil 1 and soil 2. So K1 is given, the permeability of the soil, which is nothing but 0.055, and the permeability of the soil 2, K2, which is nothing but 0.035 centimeters per second. The length of the soils respectively given as 50 centimeters and 30 centimeters, and the total head loss, the difference in the water levels, this is given as 150 centimeters, and cross section area was given as, this A is 100 centimeters. So every data is given. What they are asking is to find out the discharge. So now, first of all, if you understand, when the flow is happening, the flow is passing through both the soils. First it passes through soil 1 and then it passes through soil 2. So now as the flow is perpendicular to the bedding plane, the flow rate in every soil is the same, right? So you can find out the flow rate, the total flow rate as Q is equals to, as per Darcy, KIA. But if we convert this into equivalent isotropic, then K becomes KY, because the flow is not parallel to bedding plane. Don't remember it as horizontal or vertical. This is a flow perpendicular to bedding plane, which is KY into total hydraulic gradient into area. As every units are in centimeters per second, we don't need to change the, or we don't need to convert the units. So let's find out the KY first. So how to find out the KY? KY is equals to summation of L by summation of L by K. So KY, what is L1? L1 is 50 centimeters, 50, L2 30 by 50 by, what is the K1 value? K1 value is 0.055 plus 30 by 0.035. So if we solve, we'll get an answer of 0.0453 centimeters per second. Once we know the KY value, that's it. Then what about the head? Total head loss is 150 centimeters. And what is the total length? The total length is 50 plus 30, which is 80 centimeters. So Q is equals to KY 0.0453 into I, H by L, where delta H 150 centimeters by 50 plus 30, 80 into area given as 100. So you solve this, you will be getting the value as 8.49 centimeter cube per second, and if you round it to the nearest decimal, 8.5 centimeter cube per second. So that's about the answer for this question. Okay. Now let's see this question. So this is one of the previous ESE question, just a change in the data. So the question, regarding to the sentence formation, everything is same, but the numerical values has been changed. Previous ESE question. The results of a consolidated drainage test, which is a CD test on normally consolidated clay on NCC. CD test on NCC, you know that. So when we conduct the consolidated drain test on the normally consolidated clay, the cohesion intercept will become 0. And how to find out the phi values are? Phi is equals to sine inverse of major principal stress minus minor principal stress by major plus minor principal stress. In the previous ESE question, the data were like, here it is given as minor is 50, major is 100. In the previous, it was 100 and 200. But eventually, phi is equals to sine inverse of 100 minus 50 by 100 plus 50. 100 minus 50, 50 by 100 plus 50, 150. 50 by 150, which is going to be 1 by 3. So, sine inverse of 1 by 3. The correct answer is option D. Or else, if you don't remember this equation, you can use it by using the plastic equilibrium condition. What is the plastic equilibrium condition? Where, so you can use sigma 1 is equals to sigma 3 tan square alpha f plus 2c tan alpha f. So this is by means of the plastic equilibrium condition. Or else the small logic over here is when C 0, how to find out the phi value. Now the standard plasticity chart for the classification of a fine grained soil is shown in the figure. So to classify the fine grained soil, we use a plasticity chart, and this is how the plasticity chart looks like, which is the A line, A line. As per Indian standard soil classification system, X represent. Again, this is exactly similar to one of the previous ESC question, where the X was given in the mid area or mid zone. But in this case, so the X is given above the A line and a last zone. Above the line, it is a clay, which is inorganic clay, and as it is more than 50%, the liquid limit, it is high compressible. So X, this is nothing but CH, inorganic clay with a high compressibility. So inorganic clay with a high compressibility or plasticity. Now, a clay soil has a moisture content of 18% with a specific gravity as a 2.74. So this was given as W1, and degree of saturation is 65%. The degree of saturation is 65%. Okay. Now the soil soaks up water during a rain event. So during rainfall, the degree of saturation and moisture content of the soil has been increased, such that the degree of saturation rises to how much now? 85.2%. So let's say this is the SR2. The change of volume is negligible. They didn't need to mention that point also, because till full saturation there will be no change in volume. When there is no change in volume, no change in void ratio, no change in the dry density, because V proportional to 1 plus E proportional to 1 by gamma D. If volume doesn't change, void ratio also doesn't change. So now what they're asking is, what is the new moisture content, W2? You know, as per Sevag, E into SR is equals to W into G. Anyways, G is going to be constant. As it is clearly mentioned, volume doesn't change, so void ratio also doesn't change, which means degree of saturation will be proportional to water content. So they're not asking about degree of saturation, they're asking about the water content. So W2 by W1 is equals to SR2 by SR1, which means the W2 will be SR2. After soaking, 85.2. Let's keep it in a percentage only. Anyways, the answer is asking in terms of percentage, right? 85.2 by, initially how much about the degree of saturation? 65. And what is the initial moisture content? It is 18%. So if you solve it, you will end up with an answer of 23.59%. Again, so from the student data we got it known as NAT. We don't know whether it is MCQ or MSQ also. Now these are some of the questions, not some of the questions, 6 questions that we got so far. So if there are any other questions that you people have known so far, please type in the chat box, so we'll try to give that answers easily. Now let's see the questions regarding to the open channel flow. So in the case of the open channel flow, first question, for a flowing fluid, a dimensionless combination of velocity V, length scale L, acceleration due to gravity G would be. So they're asking about the dimensionless number. And if you see, more or less the combination of all these things will give you result of a Froude's number, right? Froude number is a dimensionless number. And if you don't remember the Froude number or any other thing, you know the dimensions, you know the units of each and everything. So you can do the elimination procedure. Now you see the first option, V square by GL. So if you see V square, which is nothing but the units, meter square, meter per second, meter square per second square. And what about the G? Meter per second square, and L, meter. So meter square per second square by meter square per second square, all the dimensions will get cancelled. So the correct answer is option A. And all the remaining things are with respect to VGL, right? So this is not an MSQ, it's an MCQ question. Now, Come to this question. A rectangular open channel has a width of 5 meters, carries a discharge of 10 meter cube per second under the uniform flow condition. So a rectangular channel is carrying uniform flow, and they have mentioned the flow rate and what is the width and depth of the flow. So the depth of the flow is also given as 1.5. To produce critical flow condition without affecting the upstream conditions, the channel bottom elevation should be raised. So a smooth hump or bed has been raised without any energy losses. Now, when you are rising the bed level, definitely the water level will get disturbed. So without causing any disturbance to the upstream water level, what is the maximum rise, or what is the rise that can create the critical flow condition? So to produce the critical flow condition without affecting the upstream conditions, the maximum rise that we can do is delta Z as delta ZC. And whenever delta Z is equals to delta ZC, then what is the relation between the specific energies? So this is a channel bed, and if you raise the channel bed to a max of delta ZC, neglecting the energy loss, the total energy line will remain horizontal. So before the transition, specific energy is E1. After the transition, specific energy is E2. Whenever delta Z becomes delta ZC, E2 will become EC. So what is the relation between the specific energies then? E1 is equals to E2 plus delta ZC. Now, what is E1? E1 is Y1 plus V1 square by 2G is equals to 3 by 2 into YC plus delta ZC. From the given data, we know Y1. What is Y1 value? 1.5 meter. But we need to find out the V1 value because they have mentioned the width as 5 meters. Discharge is 10 meter cube per second, and initial depth before the transition is 1.5 meter. So let's find out the V1 value. V1 is nothing but Q by BY1, which is 10 by 5 into 1.5. So once you solve, then the velocity will be like 1.33 meter per second. Okay, so we know Y1, we know V1. Now let's find out the YC also. What is YC? YC is nothing but Q square by G whole to the power of 1 by 3. Small q, which is capital Q by B, discharge per unit width. So 10 by 5, which is a 2 square by G value 9.81 whole to the power of 1 by 3. The value goes as 0.74 meters. Okay, so now if you substitute all together, 1.5 plus velocity V1 as 1.33 square by 2 times of gravity 2 into 9.81 is equals to 3 by 2 into YC as 0.74 plus delta ZC. Then finally, what is the delta ZC value is 0.478. If it would have been asked as rounded to 2 decimals, then the answer would be 0.48 meters. So this is about the open channel flow. And now let's see one more question from the open channel flow. This is about the hydraulic jump. Okay. So a hydraulic jump is formed in a rectangular open channel of width. How many meters? 5 meters. Carries a discharge of 15 meter cube per second. And the pre-jump depth is given as Y1. What is Y1 value? 0.5 meter. Determine the power dissipated. See, to find out the power dissipated, delta P, we need to find out gamma W into Q into energy loss, delta E. Where if the gamma W is in terms of kilonewton per meter cube, this is in terms of meter cube per second, this is in terms of meters, then this will becomes as a kilowatts. So whatever the question they're asking in terms of kilowatts only. Then we need to substitute gamma W as kilonewton per meter cube. Okay. Now, but in order to find out this, now first you need to find out the delta E. So what is delta E? Energy loss, right? So how to find out the energy loss, which is nothing but Y2 minus Y1 whole cube by 4 times of Y1, Y2. But in the given question it is mentioned only pre-jump depth. So we need to find out the post-jump depth, which is nothing but Y2. So how to find out the Y2? If you know Y1, how to find out the Y2? We have to use the belongers ratio. So Y2 by Y1 is equals to minus 1 plus square root of 1 plus 8 FR1 square by 2. And again, yeah, We need to find out y2, but do we know FR1? No, we have to find out the FR1 square. So that FR1 square will be like V1 square by GY1, and if I convert the V in terms of small q, then it will be like Q square by GY1 cube. So these many calculations are there in this question. So first we need to find out the FR1 square. And what is the small q? The small q is nothing but discharge per unit width, which is 15 by 5. So this comes as a 3 meter square per second, right? Now substitute. So 3 square by G value is given as 9.81 into Y1. Y1 is given as 0.5 cube. So if you solve, the FR1 square will comes as 7.34. FR1 square will comes as 7.34. Now you substitute that over here, then Y2 by 0.5 calculator. Okay, so this is directly 7 point, we already got it as a FR1 square, right? So now, yeah. So after solving, that Y2 will comes as 1.68 meters, right? Now once we know the Y2 value, then we can find out the energy loss. What is energy loss? Delta E is equals to Y2 minus Y1, which is 1.68 minus Y1. What is Y1 value? 0.5. 0.5 whole power 3 by 4 times of 1.68 into 0.5. So if you solve, we'll be getting this one as 0.49 meters, right? Yeah, so 0.49 meters. So once we got this value, then the power loss would be like gamma W 9.81 into whatever the discharge given as 15 into delta E 0.49. So solve it, we'll be getting this value as 72.10 kilowatts. These many calculations, but again there is similar to the previous gate questions, that's about the open channel flow. And now, so Mr. Sajid will take care of double questions, environmental engineering.
Very good afternoon, students. I hope your exam has went well. Coming to environmental engineering, the question paper is quite easy because all the questions are from the notes. So especially MCQ and MSQ questions, the theory part is copy pasted from the notes. So let us see in detail all the questions and answers. So coming to 1 mark MSQ, asking very simple question like aeration can remove which of the pollutants? We know this very well. Aeration can remove iron and manganese. This was one of the very basic questions what we have seen in our notes, right? So if you can recollect the miscellaneous chapter, in that we have seen aeration in detail, right? Aeration can remove what all impurities, how much impurities it can remove and everything, right? So very effective in removal of iron and manganese, showing from the student notes. All questions copy pasted. Let us see the next question, right? Another MSQ. For others it could be difficult, but for us, dabba question, right? Direct question from the notes. Again, he is asking, there is a facultative bond and what will happen to pH and dissolved oxygen in it. Copy paste. You will be surprised to see this bit is from one line answer. Chalo, coming back to the notes, students notes, copy. So oxidation pond we have discussed in detail. The stabilization pond can be aerobic, anaerobic and facultative. What are the advantages? And in that we have written it in one sentence. You can see this, what is happening. Due to the algal growth, oxygen is increasing. Dissolved oxygen is increasing during the morning time. And as oxygen is increasing, CO2 is decreasing, right? And as CO2 is decreasing, your pH is going to increase. And this is the bit which was asked, right? During night time, what is happening, Baba? Dissolved oxygen decreasing, pH decreasing. From this line, the question has come. We have written it clearly, very clearly, right? So let us go back to the question. Yeah, so this is the question. What is happening? We know very well. There will be algae in our facultative pond, right? And during morning time, whatever carbon dioxide is there, it will be taking and it will be releasing oxygen into the water. This is happening when photosynthesis is on, that is when sunlight is there, right? So dissolved oxygen increases during the morning time. And what is the relationship with pH? The relationship with pH depends on carbon dioxide. We know very well CO2 is acidic agent, right? As CO2 is decreasing, obviously your pH is going to increase, yes or no? CO2 increase, pH decrease, CO2 decrease, pH increase. Bas yahi hai question. So directly I can take during the morning time, right? During the morning time, my pH will be more and during the night time pH will be less, right? And I can also take one more thing. Dissolved oxygen is high during the daytime. So direct question, not a problem. Now coming to the next question, another direct question. Probably asked for 1 mark MCQ. I didn't expect that he will give this much easy question. Log removal he is asking, right? Again, we have discussed the same question. Of course, the values have changed, but question is directly from the notes. Disinfection, if you can remember kinetics of disinfection, same question, right? Kinetics of disinfection, he is asking log removal or log kill. Log n naught minus log nt. वही करना है. So you can see very well, he is saying in this question, n naught, initial number of microorganisms. How much are there in 100 ml? 10708. And after some time t, how much are left? 23 are left in 100 ml sample, because test tube is 100 ml, na? That's why. In one test tube initially this much, after some time t 23. So what is the log kill or log removal? Very simple. Log n naught minus log nt. So you just do this simple math, use your calculator. Log of this minus log of this, you should be getting answer. Option B, 2.67. Okay. So very simple. 2.67 is your answer. And now coming to the next question. Again, how many times we have focused on this question? Literally same question we have solved in solid waste. Now they are asking in air pollution, right? This is a question related to what? Stoichiometric chemistry, right? So we have focused so many times when I was teaching you regarding THOD. Again, in solid waste management, we have studied a very similar question in which we used to find what is the weight of air. वही आया है. So here we have to do stoichiometry. कैसे करेंगे? As discussed in the notes, nothing new. So these are the similar questions what we have solved in the notes. Stoichiometric questions. Carbon, hydrogen हम equate कर लेंगे and we will get the answer. See how easily I can get this answer. Let us see now. So here he is saying there is some carbohydrate or hydrocarbon. CnHm, right? So obviously for fuel to burn we need oxygen. So it is reacting with oxygen and it will convert into some stable compound, right? So carbon क्या बनेगा? Carbon is reacting with oxygen and forms CO2. Hydrogen will react with oxygen and forms what? H2O. But is this equation balanced? No. Balance करना पड़ेगा. So how to balance this equation? Very easily. So let us write down there are some A parts of oxygen, there is some X part of carbon dioxide and there is some Y part of water molecules coming out. So how to balance? Let us start with carbon. How many carbon atoms you are seeing on your left hand side? There is only N, right? So you are seeing there are N carbon atoms. And on right hand side, how many carbon atoms are there? X carbon atoms, right? So directly I can write my X is equals to N, right? Now let us see hydrogen. On my left hand side, you can say there are M hydrogen atoms, and on my right hand side, how many hydrogens are there? There are 2 Y hydrogen atoms. So directly I can write M is equals to 2Y. So what is the value of Y? That will be M by 2, right? And there is one more, oxygen. इसको भी तो balance करना है. So how many oxygens are there on my left hand side? 2A. And how many oxygens are there on my right hand side? That will be 2x and यहाँ पे भी तो oxygen है, Y. So I can write 2A is equals to 2x plus Y. Okay. So I know the values of x and y. Let us use it. What is there? A will become 2n plus m by 2 divided by 2. So this will be n plus m by 4. So now I have a balanced equation. I know what is the value of A. I know what is the value of x and y. इससे कुछ करना नहीं है. But I need value of A. So what he is asking? He is asking what is the ratio of mass of fuel and mass of air required. So let us first see what is mass of fuel. Okay. Mass of fuel. So fuel is CnHm. So I can write n parts of carbon, so 12n, and hydrogen is having a molecular weight of 1. So directly I am writing m into 1. Similarly, mass of oxygen, not air I am writing oxygen. So oxygen का क्या रहेगा? So you know what it is. Oxygen is 32, right? But how many parts are there? A parts. So A part is nothing but n plus m by 4, right? And here, see the question carefully. He is asking to the air mass ratio, not oxygen mass ratio. And here he is also saying in the air, he is having oxygen and he is having 3.82 nitrogen. तो भाई साहब oxygen weight is 32 and 3.78 times nitrogen. N2 is 28. You just add this, you will be getting how much? 137.84 grams. That means if there are 32 grams of oxygen in your air, the weight of air will be 137.82. So what I have to do is, mass of oxygen is so and so, just replace it, mass of air, and what it will be, instead of 32 what I am writing, 137.84. 137.84 into n plus m by 4, that is nothing but 4n plus m divided by 4. So this is the mass of air. So I know mass of fuel and mass of air. बस इसका ratio चाहिए 4/5. That's it. So we'll add one slide here. Okay. It's okay. Not a problem. So you can see here 4 is 12n plus m. Divided by what we are having, 137.84. I am taking 4 out, divided by 4n plus m. 4n plus m. Just solve this, you should be getting your answer 0.0291 12n plus m divided by 4n plus m. So that will be your answer. So you can see how easy the question is. You can easily get your answer. Okay, chalo. Now let us see one more question. Very simple. One of the easiest questions I can say, probably asked for 2 marks. MSQ question. And this is related to what? Sedimentation tank. I have said you in class specially that there will be a question based on minimum diameter, right? So if you can recollect what happened in the class, I have said very clearly that you remember there is a possibility that we can get a question based on minimum diameter of particle, and we have written it as a note also. अगर इस तरह का question आता है तो क्या करेंगे? This is the same question what we have got in the exam, right? So how to find the minimum diameter of the particle? Vs is equals to V naught, right? So we have solved a very similar question also and got the diameter, copy paste. But numerical values are changed. So we'll solve this question now. I think it is very easy. V naught is given. How much? 45 meter cube per day per meter square. So I can write it 45 meter per day, or I can write 45, right? Meter I will keep the same. 1 day is having 24 hours, each hour is having 60 minutes, and each minute is having 60 seconds. So I know how many meter per second I am having my V naught. So Vs, how to get Vs? Stokes law. G by 18 nu Gs minus 1 into d square. And here he is saying find out what is the minimum size of organic as well as inorganic compounds when Gs is given. So let us find out for inorganic compounds, that will be G by 18 nu. So Gs, how much is there for inorganic? 2.65. 2.65 minus 1 into d square. This is what I have to find out. Nu value is given, G value is given. Similarly, for organic solid, G by 18 nu, Gs minus 1, 1.2 he has given. So 1.2 minus 1 into d square. I have to find again what is the d value. So I will just equate with that, right? G value 9.81 and nu value how much given? 10 to the power of minus 6 meter square per second. So just substitute these two. Solve it, you should be getting d value some 24 micrometers. And again substitute the same thing. And you will be getting d value here in this case some 69 micrometers. So once you get your answer, you just tick it. Minimum diameter of organic particle 69, minimum diameter of inorganic particle 24 micrometers. Very easy question. Now Let us see one more question. This question is related to sludge handling, and again copy pasted from the notes, you can say, right? So we have solved 2-3 questions in this chapter, and this is combination of those questions. So here he is giving, there are 2 components which are getting added. One is municipal solid waste and there is some sludge. Okay, let some municipal solid waste I am representing by x1 and sludge I am representing with some x2. So he is saying this whatever municipal solid waste is having a moisture content 30% and it is also having a bulk density of 315 kg per meter cube, and here sludge is having moisture content of 70%, right, and it is having the density of 700 kg per meter cube. Now let us see the first question what he is asking. Now you are mixing both the sludge and he is asking us to find out amount of sludge to be mixed per kg of municipal solid waste. How much sludge I have to mix per kg of solid waste so that the moisture content is how much? 40%. Very simple, right? So I am mixing these two, moisture content should be 40%, right? So I can write weight of this is W1, weight of this is W2. So initially the weight of water what we are having is 30% of W1, or I can write 0.3 W1, and here 70% of W2, that is 0.7 times W2, and this is equals to how much? Total weights 40%, right? So 0.4 into W1 plus W2, right? So you can just solve this. So you will be getting 3W1 plus 7W2 is equals to 4W1 plus 4W2. So what you can write, Baba, here? 3W2 is equals to W1, right? So, or I can also write W2 by W1 is equals to 1 by 3 or 0.33. So I can say per kg of municipal solid waste 1 by 3, that is 0.33 kg I have to mix this sludge. So that is the first answer, option C. So 0.33 kg sludge is added in our municipal solid waste. Now what is the bulk density after mixing? So very easy, I want bulk density. We know the formula from the notes again, right? So I know there are 2 components, mass M1, density rho 1, mass M2, density rho 2. So what will be the bulk density? M1 plus M2 divided by, right, M1 by rho 1 plus M2 by rho 2. So I am going to use the same thing, right? For 1 kg I am mixing 0.33 kg of this solid waste. So I can write 1 plus 0.33 divided by 1 by, what is the weight? 315, and 0.33 divided by, what is the density given? 700. So you can just do this basic calculation and you should be getting your answer somewhere around 365 kg per meter cube. Very simple question. Again, we have solved similar questions in the notes. It should not be a problem. Now coming to the final question of environmental engineering. This question has no formula in it. This is pure common sense, right? इसपे कुछ है ही नहीं है. He is saying, he is taking a liter bottle, and in this 1 liter bottle he has added certain amount of MgCl2, and he has also added what? CaSO4. Obviously when you are adding certain compounds to the water, it will give you TDS, right? So you are getting certain TDS. How much is the TDS? 500 mg per liter. And you can say this is a multivalent cation, this is a multivalent cation, so hardness bhi aayega. And he has given the total hardness is 400 mg per liter. Now he is asking, if you have to get this much TDS and TH, how much MgCl2 and how much CaSO4 I have to add to the water? So very simply I can say this. Let us see first TDS. I am adding MgCl2. So when added to the water, it will become Mg2 plus and 2 Cl minus. And then I have CaSO4. You added, it will become Ca2 plus and SO4 2 minus. क्या करेंगे? We'll compare the weights. So Mg, I know it is 24 plus 2 times chlorine 35.5. And again here I am going to get 24, and here that will be 2 times 35.5, that is nothing but 71, right? Here also same, Ca 40, SO4 2 minus 32 plus 64, 96. So you will be getting 136, right? So I know what is the stoichiometry related to MgCl2 and CaSO4. So here you have to understand that I have added some X part MgCl2 and some Y part CaSO4 in the water. So here only I am writing some 136Y is equals to 40Y plus 96Y, and whatever this is 24 plus 71, that will be 95. So 95x will give me 24x plus 71x. So now I know very well this magnesium and calcium is giving me what? Hardness. So I can write total hardness. You know the formula, right? Ca2 plus divided by equivalent weight of Ca2 plus, which is 20, and Mg2 plus divided by equivalent weight. कितना आएगा? 12 into equivalent weight of CaCO3 50 is how much, Baba? He has given 400 mg per liter as CaCO3. So this is equals to 400 mg per liter, right? So what I can do? Here Ca I have got 24x. Sorry, Ca is 40x, right? And Mg, how much? 24, sorry, 40y and 24x. So I can divide this 20, I will be getting 2y plus 2x into 50 is 400, or I can also get x plus y is equals to 4. This is one of the equation what I have got. Now there is one more thing given. Obviously to solve this equation I need one more equation. There are two unknowns, na, x and y. So I can also use this, that when I have added these two compounds, what is the TDS? 500 mg per liter. So coming to TDS, so total dissolved solids, it is combination of Mg, Cl2, Ca and SO4. So I can say how much I have added? 95 parts of X and 136 parts of Y, and together how much I have got? 500 mg per liter. So this is also one of the equation what I can use, right? So I am going to use these two equations and solve. I can write 95x plus 136y is equals to 500. I am just writing x plus y is equals to 4. Instead of that I am writing 95x plus 95y is equals to 4 into 95. So 95 cancel. How much you are getting? 41y is equals to, this is around 380. So I am going to get 120. So y value is 120 by 41. So if you calculate this, how much you are going to get? 2.926. And how much is the x value? Obviously I know x plus y is 4. So x value is 4 minus y, which is 1.073 or 074. See, I got x, I got y. What he is asking? He is asking how much weight of MgCl2 and CaSO4 was added. How to get it? Just multiply, na? So MgCl2 added is 95 times x. I know the value of x. Multiply kar lo. And how much you are going to get? 95 into 1.075, it should be close to 103, right? So that is your 103. And what about your CaSO4? Again, what is the y value I have got? 2.926. And how much CaSO4 I have? 136 times Y value. So 136 into 2.926, if you multiply, you will be getting somewhere around 397. So just multiply, you will be getting your answer. Okay. So this is the answer. You just add this, you will be getting total TDS 500 and total hardness 400. So this concludes environmental engineering. So total of 7 questions, and I can say all 7 questions are from the notes. Okay. So I end environmental engineering now. Next, Pawan sir will come. Okay, Pawan sir will come and he will cover the surveying part of morning session.
Now let's see the questions from surveying. So see this question. Point A and point B are 2 points across the river. Find RL of B if RL of A is given as 150 meters. So the staff readings are given, and by keeping the instrument at location P and at Q. So at P and Q, this is A and this is B. So at P, the staff reading on A is 1.8 and staff reading on B is 1.35. So if you see, by keeping that staff, if you observe this is 1.8 and this is 1.35, obviously A is at a lower level and B is at the higher level. So which means, now if this is a staff, if you keep the theodolite over here, if you observe, whatever this reading came as 1.8 meter. And if you keep a staff, there the reading, it is observed as 1.35 on the B. So which means this should be at the higher level. So now this is the reading over here. The reading over here as this is HA, which is 1.8 meter, and this is HB, which is 1.35 meter. Similarly, at a station, now it is 1.45 and 0.95. So what they are asking is what is the elevation or RL of B. So this is RL of A, which is nothing but 150. As it is slightly higher, so now we need to find out this value. To find out this value, we need to find out the difference first. So how to find out the difference? The difference is nothing but difference of the readings average. So what is the average of these readings difference? The difference is at a P, 1.8 minus 1.35 plus at a Q, 1.45 minus 0.95. So the average goes this value as 0.475 meters. So now as B is at a higher level, so at A it is 150. Now what is the RL at a B? 150 plus the difference 0.475, which is 150.475 meters. Okay. Now let's see this question. Road A and B are joined by a circular horizontal curve. So there is a and there is a B. They both got joined by horizontal and horizontal curve. So the radius is given as, the R value is given as 200 meters. Now road A and B are tangential to the curve at point C and D. So at point C and D they are tangential. Now the curve had not been in there. The straight roads A and B would have met a point E. So these roads will meet at a point as a E. Now the distance between C and E, so this distance is given as 92 meters. Now what is the value of this theta deflection? This theta value. So this theta is also known as a delta. Now once you know the distance, then CE is equals to R tan delta by 2. Given CE is 92 is equals to R value 200 into tan delta by 2. So if you look, that delta value comes as 49.5 degrees. Straightforward question. Now, next is this question. If a quadrantal bearing of line is north 30 degrees west, then what is the whole circle bearing? So, if you draw the quadrants, north, south, west and east. So, the bearing they have given as 30 degrees towards the west. Then what is the whole circle bearing? The whole circle bearing is, which is like, total is 360 minus 30 degrees. The whole circle bearing 360 minus 30 degrees, it is 330 degrees. The answer is option D. Now, the last question is, if the horizontal distance between the staff point and point of observation is D, the error due to the curvature. So whatever the error due to the curvature is proportional to, it is proportional to D square. So from the given data, the answer is option A. So that's all about the questions from surveying. Now, Mr. Mallikarjun will take care of the structure analysis.
Hi everyone, now we'll see the questions from structure analysis subject. So till now we received 2 questions from this subject. Right, first question. So this is a frame given, this is a symmetric frame. So we'll apply the moment distribution method, okay? But because of symmetry, we can use the shortcut method of moment distribution, okay? Right, first we'll find the distribution factor for member BA and for member BC, okay? So to find the distribution factor for member BA, stiffness for member BA and total stiffness at joint B. At joint B, what are the members are meeting? BA and BC. So BA plus BC. Right. So BA, far end is fixed support. What is the stiffness? 4 EI by L. But here EI is given 2I. Okay. So this is 4E 2I by L. So what is the length given here? 6 meter. And this is 4E 2I by 6. Next for member BC, far end is rigid joint, right? Same 4E by L stiffness. So 4E, but what is I given? 4. So 4I by L. So what is the span given? It is 8 meter. So similarly, find the distribution factor for member BC. So stiffness for member BC, then total stiffness at a joint B. So what is the total stiffness at joint B? Members are meeting at joint B, BA plus BC. Okay, so BC, far end is rigid joint. What is the stiffness? 4E I by L, right? But I is given 4I. So find that if you solve this one, this you will get 4 by 10 and this will get 6 by 10. So we got the distribution factor, right? So this is the symmetry, right? No need to do analysis for entire structure. We'll do analysis only for half part of the structure. That is the left part or right part. If you do analysis only for left part, okay, here center line is passing through joint C, right? If the center line pass to the joint C would assume fixed support. Now this is a shortcut, right? Okay, and there is a moment given here 100 kilonewton meter. Okay, so your span is given 8 meter and your span is given 6 meter. Okay, right. Now students, there is no external load on the members. If there is no external load, then there is no fixed end moments. But there is an external moment given at a joint B. Now this moment joint B moment we have to share for member BC and for member BA. That depend upon distribution factor, right? Okay, so moment for member BA equals to distribution factor for member BA. What is the moment at joint B is given? 100. Okay, so what is the distribution factor for member BA? So distribution factor for member BA is 4 by 10. Okay, then this is 40 kilonewton meter. Similarly, for member BC, distribution factor for member BC into 100. So what is the distribution factor for member BC we got? This is 6 by 10, then this is 60 kilonewton meter. Okay, right. So what is the direction of movement at B is given? Clockwise, right? Then mark it clockwise. So what is the movement for member BC we got? For member BC we got 60. Now this is 60 kilonewton meter and this is 40 kilonewton meter. Students, if far end is fixed support, half of the movement will carry your same direction. So clockwise, clockwise. What is half of the movement? 30 kilonewton meter. Okay, right. Now right part of the structure. Now this is C, this is E and this is F. Okay, now if it is clockwise, balance it anti-clockwise. Okay, then in middle there is one more member is given, that is CD. Now C, D. Students, movement at joint C already in balanced condition, right? This is clockwise 30, then this is anti-clockwise 30. Then what is the movement at C for member CD? It is 0. Then far end is fixed support, half of the movement, but this is 0, right? 0. Okay, the students, if you find the horizontal reactions, if movement is 0, horizontal reactions also 0. Okay, now we'll see the options. What is given? First option, no rotation at a joint C. Yes, due to symmetry, force member CD is subjected to only axial force. Okay, this member subjected to only axial force. But for this member, shear force is 0, bending moment also 0. Okay, so no rotation at joint C. Yes, it is correct. Okay, shear force in member CD is 0. Yes, correct. Okay, axial force in member CD is 0. No, this member subjected to only axial force. Okay, then bending moment in member BC at joint C is more than 50 given, but is not more than 50, right? It is less than 50 only. Okay, then this is also wrong. Then A and B are correct. Next, second question. First, we'll find the reaction RE. How to find the reaction Re? Here internal hinge is given. Now taking bending moment at C, so anti-clockwise negative, clockwise positive, then this Re anti-clockwise, then from point E to point C, what the perpendicular distance? This is 2, then this is 4, and this 2 is clockwise, plus 2 into what the perpendicular distance? 2, 2, 2, then this is 6. And here there is a couple given, okay, 4 into 2, this is clockwise, right, then plus 8 equals to 0. Then from this equation, Re equals to, this is 5 kilonewton. So we got positive, assumed direction is correct. Okay, right. Now we'll draw the, can you find the reaction Ra? Apply sigma V equals to 0. All the downward forces equals to all the upward forces. What are the upward forces here? Ra plus Re. Then what are the downward forces? 3 plus 2, it is 5. So Re we got already 5, right? Okay, then what is the reaction Ra? Equals to 0. Okay, if we draw the free body diagram, so this is A, C, so this is the point D, and this is point E, this is given B, right? So this is given 2 kilonewton. So this is 2 meter, and DE, this is 2 meter, and CD also 2 meter. Okay, so students, here VA equals to 0, right? Here we got 5 kilonewton. Then here, if it is downward, if it is upward, then here it is downward balance, then this is equals to 0. And there is a total downward load is given how much? 3 kilonewton, right? It means this is 3 kilonewton. Okay, now we'll draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. If you draw the shear force, point C, vertical reaction is 0, that is straight line. So this is a straight line. Okay, then here this is point E, this is point D. Then this is the shear force diagram. So it is like this. Now this is the SFD. Now we'll draw the bending moment diagram. So what is the bending moment diagram? At C, bending moment is 0, and A also bending moment is 0 because there is no vertical reaction. So here there is a clockwise movement is given, right? This is 8 kilonewton meter. Okay, then this is downward at point E, 5 into 2, this is 4. So 2 into 2, 4. Next, at point D, there is a sudden jump. It is like this. That is like this. Now this is the bending moment diagram. Okay. Now see the options once. There is a sudden jump in bending moment at point E. Okay. Check it. At point E, any sudden jump here? No. There is a sudden jump at point D, not at point E. Then option A is wrong. Next, there is sudden jump in shear force at D. Sudden jump shear force at D. There is a no sudden jump shear force at D. So B also wrong. Next, bending moment is 0 in between AC. Yes. In between AC, what is the bending moment? 0. Yes, option C is correct. Next D, bending moment is 0 in between DE. So in between DE, bending moment, is it 0? So it is not 0. Okay, then only option C is correct. So these are the two questions from structural analysis subject till now we received. Okay, so I'll invite next faculty.
Friends, we will discuss about the questions of engineering hydrology, today's gate examination morning session. What is the probability of getting a rainfall at least once in 25 years is 5%. Probability of non-exceedance of the rainfall is dash. So for at least once it is 5%. We know pretty well for the probability of at least once is 1 minus q power n. It is given as 5%, so 5 divided by 100, say 0.05. Q power n is nothing but 25 years, q power 25 is 1 minus 0.05, that will be 0.95. Has asked the q value, probability of non-exceedance, exceedance is p, non-exceedance is q, so q value 0.95 to the power of 1 upon 0.25. 0.95 whole to the power of 1 by 0.25 is the answer. The simple question, probability of getting a rainfall at least once in 25 years, that is the called hydrologic risk. Second question, write in order given below for the deriving the total flood hydrograph. From the given unit hydrograph, how to get the flood hydrograph? First of all, you must have the unit hydrograph data. How much is the initial flow and infiltration loss, from which we can calculate phi value. Unit hydrograph, and from phi value we will get R value. Multiplying with R with unit hydrograph, we are going to get DRH, direct runoff hydrograph. Adding direct runoff hydrograph to the base flow, you will get the total flood hydrograph. So correct order, SRPQ. Correct answer, SRPQ. This is the correct answer for the given problem. He wants flood hydrograph, given unit hydrograph. Multiply with direct runoff depth from losses. You will get a DRH, that is P. Adding base flow. Obtaining hydrograph with base flow, you are going to get the flood hydrograph. So SRPQ is the right answer. This is just the procedure to get from unit hydrograph to derive flood hydrograph. Is a question given on evaporation. A trapezoidal channel of length of the canal 100 kilometers, base width of the canal 10 meters, side slope 1 horizontal to 1 vertical. Average evaporation rate in the class A pan is 0.5 centimeter per day. What will be the volume of the evaporation water from the canal in the month of April? See this, the canal is like this. Base width is 10 meter, side slope is 1 horizontal to 1 vertical, and depth of the flow here given is 2.5 meter. This is 2.5 meter. This is 2.5 meter. Top width is 10 plus 2.5 plus 2.5, 15 meters. How do you get the volume rate of evaporation? Length of the canal, width of the canal, rate of evaporation from the pan, multiply with the pan evaporation coefficient, that is class A pan CP. All this will give the rate of evaporation. We want volume of evaporation, multiply with the time of reference. Being careful in the units also, we can check out. Length is 100 kilometers, 100 into 10 power 3. Base width, top width of the canal is 15 meters, which is exposed to sunlight. Evaporation rate 0.5 centimeter per day. 0.5 centimeter is 0.5 by 100 meters per day. In the month of April, that is 30 days. Class A pan, we are taking Indian standard because nothing is given. And Indian reservoir conditions we take. Pan evaporation coefficient 0.8. If you simplify, 100 happy. 0.8 into 0.5 is 0.4. 0.4 into 30 is 12. 12 into 15 is 180. 180 into 10 power 3 meter cube in the entire month of April. Question given, dash into 10 power 3 meter cube. So that blank should be filled with the answer. 180 is the right answer. What is the formula, sir? Volume evaporation is equal to length of the canal, width of the canal into rate of evaporation, multiply with evaporation coefficient, multiply with the time of reference. Because he has given 1 month, there is also April month. We have April month has 30 days. So answer for the question 180 into 10 power 3 meter cube, answer is 180. This data is not clearly obtained. So let us see only what is the procedure. Actual calculations can be done only when you have the clear-cut data. With this data we can see. ABC rain gauges are inside the catchment, D outside the catchment. First of all, you must have the one point in the mind. When the Thesian polygon method, whether the rain gauge station is inside the catchment or outside the catchment, it has no impact. So in the Thesian catchment method, all the rain gauge stations must be taken into method. And in the arithmetic mean method, only rain gauges within the catchment must be taken. So Thesian polygon method is not applied for, this is directly wrong. To calculate average depth of rainfall by arithmetic mean method, only ABC must be considered. 100 plus 125 plus 110 by 3. 100 plus 125 plus 110 by 3. This is 225, 325, 335 by 3. Anyone can tell it is 111.66. So many millimeters. Because D should not be taken. For arithmetic mean method, rain gauges within the boundary of the catchment must be taken. For Thesian polygon method, we know the formula sigma pi xi by sigma xi. Here, these values are not given clearly, so we are just taking the values 100 multiply with 0.4, 125 into 0.1, 110 into 0.2, 120 into 0.3, sum of the Thesian coefficients of the entire catchment including rain gauges outside or inside the catchment by 100 into 0.4 is 40, sir. 125 into 0.1 is 12.5. 110 into 0.2 is 22. 120 into 0.36. 36 plus 58, 98, 108, 110.5 millimeters. By arithmetic mean method 111, it is 110. So PAM greater than P Thesian polygon method is correct answer. Less than is wrong. This is wrong. It is obviously wrong. Why? Because in Thesian polygon method, wherever is the rain gauge station, outside or inside, you must take into account to calculate mean value of precipitation. These are the questions on hydrology. I hope you have fared well. Wishing you all the best. I am inviting the next faculty gentlemen. Good luck.
we'll take up the questions on strength of material based upon the memory and based upon the data available. We'll take up the questions. See this question, it is a numerical answer type of question. A beam is given. If the second derivative of the deflection at midpoint of AC will be equal to alpha m naught by 3ei, what will be the value of alpha? So, this is a beam given, here it is 2ei and it is ei, and a concentrated couple is given. So, the second derivative of the deflection, nothing but deflected curve, is deflecting down at midpoint AC by this much amount. What is this alpha? That means the deflection at C is given by this. They are asking you what is alpha. You can use any of the methods. We will try to use the conjugate beam method, that is one of the methods to solve the problem. If you are using the conjugate beam method, first we will take the bending moment diagram. The bending moment at B is 0, as you have moment here. So, m naught is the moment here, m naught to 0. This is our BMD. So, we require m by a diagram or curvature diagram for the conjugate beam. So, the curvature diagram will be, you need to divide with the EI value. Here you need to divide with EI value. So, here it is, if it is m naught here, it is m naught by 2. M naught by 2 is the midpoint ordinate. Now, m by EI diagram will be, so here it is the same triangle. In this area between B and C we are dividing with the EI. So, the value here will be m naught by EI, 2 EI, m naught by 2 EI, and in the other area what's happening is we need to divide with the 2 EI here. So, if you are dividing with the 2 EI, the value here will be m naught by 2 EI, 2 EI is here, and here it will be m naught by 4 EI will come into the picture. So, this is m naught by 4 EI. Hinge remains hinge, roller remains roller. In a conjugate beam, hinge remains hinge, roller remains roller. So, this is B. They are asking you deflection at the midpoint. So, for that we need to calculate the reaction here, RB of the conjugate beam. This is the conjugate beam with m by EI diagram, and this is our RA, and this is the point C. So, first I will calculate RB from this conjugate beam. For that I will take moment about A is equal to 0. If I take moment about A is equal to 0, length is L and L, RB into length 2L anti-clockwise, and these are creating clockwise moments. For this triangle, half into base is L into height is m naught by 2 EI, and the distance from its centroid to the point A is L plus 1/3 of L, L by 3, plus this trapezium I will convert into trapezium, and then rectangle and triangle. Rectangle height is m naught by 4 EI, triangle height is also m naught by 4 EI. So, here it is for a dabba rectangle, m naught by 4 EI into the length of the dabba is L, centroidal distance is L by 2, and for the triangle half into base, base is m naught by 4 EI into height is L into 1/3 of L. So, if you simplify, RB comes out to be, the reaction at B comes out to be m naught L by 4 EI. After the simplification. Now, in the original beam, deflection at C is equal to, in the conjugate beam, bending moment at C is equal to RB into L up to C distance you are taking, and the area of triangle is half into m naught by 2 EI into base is L into the centroidal distance here to here is L by 3. So, substitute RB, and if you simplify, it becomes, the YC becomes m naught L square by 3I, m naught L square by 3I. This YC I am writing here. If you compare this with this, here L square is required, not printed. So, alpha will be 3 is there. So, if you compare these two, alpha will be 1. Please check up the calculations. I have taken in a hurried manner. Check up. This is the procedure by conjugate beam method. Coming to the next question. So, look at this question. So, there is a rigid bar here, ABC. ABC is a rigid bar, and it is connected to a bar of BD and another bar of CE, and a load P is applied here. Axial rigidity of BD is given, and CE is also given to us. If the CE is elongating by 5 mm, CE is elongating by 5 mm due to the point load P, what will be the downward deflection of point A they are asking. The downward deflection of point A they are asking. If you take the free body diagram, so because of the application of load, this is going up, and here also there may be chance of coming down, and finally there may be some pivot here. I will take up this free body, assume that pivot is somewhere here. So, this is the point load P you are applying here, and at a point B there is elongation delta B, and at C there may be upward deflection of 5. So, this is the deflected diagram. As this is elongating by 5 mm, it is elongating by 5 mm, delta of C is equal to 5 mm is equal to the load in member CE, length of member CE by AE of the member CE. So, load acting on member CE you can calculate, because length of CE is given as 500 mm. AE given as axial rigidity of CE is 3200 kilonewton, is 5 mm. So, if you simplify, 5 gets cancelled, 5 gets cancelled. Load taken by CE is equal to 32 kilonewton, because this is in kilonewton, this is mm, this is also mm. Now, if you take the free body diagram of the member, this member, so this is under tension. So, you have this is under tension, there may be a downward force here. This is the force in CE, and this is also under tension, there may be upward force here, BD, force in member BD is here. If you take vertical forces is equal to 0, PBD is equal to PCE plus PB, PCE plus P. If you take vertical forces equal to 0, P plus PCE 2 kilonewton is equal to PBD. Okay, again if you take moment about this point, so this is 200 into 200, the load acting on CE, PCE is equal to P. If you take moment about B, PCE is equal to P. So PCE value already known to us, 32 kilonewton. PCE is equal to P is equal to 32 kilonewton. Now PBD will be 32 plus 32, 64 kilonewton. PBD is 32 plus 32, 64 kilonewton. Now what is the deflection here? If you want to calculate, delta B can be calculated by PL by AE of the member BD. So BD is having a length of 300, axial rigidity 2200. PBD is 64 kilonewton, length is 300, axial rigidity of BD is 2200 kilonewton. Kilonewton gets cancelled and 300 will come into the picture. From this you can calculate delta B. So once you calculate delta B here, and this is X value, from similar triangles, this is X value and this is total is here to here is 200 and here to here it is 200 again. From similar triangles you can find out the deflection of point A, delta A. From similar triangles, if you calculate delta A, its value is, I am directly giving you the answer, .73 mm. If it is a numerical answer question, directly substitute. Please check and simplify the things. So these are the two questions whose data is available to us. If any other things are there, we will catch up.
we are coming to mathematics, we received 8 questions. Okay, you see the first one, limit extends to infinity, x minus root over x square plus x is equal to. Limit extends to infinity. Actually, if you substitute directly, what you are getting? This is infinity minus infinity. Infinity minus infinity is indeterminate form or not? So rationalize. Rationalizing means what it is? X minus root 2 over x square plus x into x plus root 2 over x square plus x. Denominator also you have to write as x plus root 2 over x square plus x. Is it? Now numerator is in a form a plus b into a minus b or not? That is a square minus b square. X square minus of, sorry, limit x tends to infinity also I have to write. Limit x tends to infinity. So x square, what you are getting? X square minus of x square plus x. Denominator is nothing but x plus under, that is nothing but to take x common from square root of x square plus x. If you take x common, okay, that is x plus, this is nothing but 1 plus x by x. X square by x square is nothing but 1 by x will come. Now x square both will cancel. Limit x tends to infinity, that is minus x by, if you take x common, 1 plus root 2 over 1 plus 1 by x. Now what it is? Now you apply a limit. Numerator is minus 1 by 1 plus 1, x tends to infinity means 1 by x tends to 0. 1 plus 0 is 1 only. So minus 1 by 2 is the answer. Minus 1 by 2 is nothing but minus 0.5 or not. So option C is correct for the question. Now coming to the next one. Consider the differential equation given below. Euler's method with step size h of 0.5. The value of y at x is equal to 0.1. Given here, this is in a form dy by dx is equal to f of xy. Is it? Y of 0 is equal to 1 given means we have to apply forward Euler's method. X naught is given as 0, y naught is given as 1. X1. Step size h is given as 0.5 or not? H is 0.5 means we have to take 0.5 gap. So what is x1? X1 is 0.5, y1 we have to find, and so what is required finally? Value of y at x is equal to 1 means y of 1 required. So x2 is equal to 1.0, y2 also required. Means here 2 steps we have to do. What is forward Euler's method formula? Y1 is nothing but y of x1 is nothing but y naught plus h into f of x naught y naught or not. That implies y1 is, what is y of x1? That is y of 0.5. What is y naught? Y naught is nothing but 1 plus h is 0.5. F of x naught y naught. F of xy is nothing but y plus 2x minus x square. X naught y naught is nothing but y naught plus 2x naught minus x naught square. Substitute the values. 1 plus 0.5 into, okay, what is x naught value? 0. If you substitute x naught value 0, this y naught is 1 or not? So 1.5. y1 value 1.5. Using y1 we have to find y2. Now what is y2? y2 is nothing but y of x2, y1 plus h into f of x1 y1. y1 plus h into f of x1 y1 means what is y1 value? 1.5 plus h is 0.5, sorry, 0.5 into f of x1 y1. F of xy is y plus 2x minus x square. So f of x1 y1 is y1 plus 2x1 minus x1 square. Already x1 value is available or not? So x1 is equal to 0.5, you can substitute. y1 value 1.5, it is already available. You substitute them. Finally, you will get already answer 2.625 I got. I verified it. Yes, I have got the answer is 2.625. Okay. This is after calculation, this is the final answer. Now coming to the next problem. Let y be the solution of the initial value problem, differential equation. This is a second order homogeneous linear differential equation given, but boundary conditions also given. Using those boundary conditions, we have to find y of one value. What is given differential equation? So you can write in a form that is d square plus 0.8d plus 0.16 into y is equal to 0 or not. What is auxiliary equation? D square plus 0.8d plus 0.16 is equal to 0. Is it not d plus 0.4 whole square? D plus 0.4 whole square is equal to 0. So d is nothing but minus 0.4 minus 0.5 repeated roots. So what is the solution? Y of x is equal to c1 e power, roots are real and repeated or not, e power minus 0.4x plus c2 x e power minus 0.4x, is it? So, but conditions also given. This is not a final answer. Conditions also given means we have to find C1 and C2. For that, to find C1 and C2, two boundary conditions given. So, one of the boundary condition means here derivative also required, find y dash of 0 to, sorry, y dash of x. What it is? Minus 0.4 C1 e power minus 0.4x plus C2 into UV rule you have to apply or not? Okay, that is minus x into 0.4 into e power minus 0.4x. First x into derivative of that plus e power minus 0.4x into derivative of x is 1. Okay, let it be 1, let it be 2. Okay, already conditions given to you or not? That is y of 0 is equal to 3 given, y dash of 0 is equal to 4.5 given. Given y of 0 is equal to 3. Substitute this condition in 1. If you substitute input in place of x, substitute 0, in place of y of x is substitute 3, you will get C1 is equal to 3. Similarly, one more condition given or not? Y dash of 0 is equal to 4.5. Y dash of 0 is equal to 4.5. Substitute in 2, you will get C2. Substitute C1 is equal to 3 also, we will get 5.7 approximately. Now, substitute C1 and C2 in the original function. Y of x is equal to, okay, that is nothing but what it is, C1 is nothing but, that is 3 e power minus 0.4x, C2 is nothing but 5.7 x e power minus 0.4x. Finally, they asked y of 1 value or not. Okay, what is y of 1? Okay, if you y of 1 means in place of x, if you substitute 1, finally you will get the answer like this, 5.831. Just this C2 is 5.7 or not roughly, so as based on my memory I have written that value, you cross verify, but final value I have got it as 5.831. Okay, right. Coming to the next problem. The maximum value of the function h of x is given like this, interval given. Interval given means within that interval we have to give the global maxima. So what is f of x? Let it be, okay, f of x or h of x, whatever it may be, that is minus x cube plus 2x square. Okay, take the first derivative, minus 3x square plus 6x. Is it right? Sorry, plus 4x. 6x written by mistake. Plus 4x. Okay. For stationary point, put f dash of x is equal to 0. That implies 3x square is equal to 4x means what is x value? X is nothing but 4 by 3. Okay, one of the stationary value is 4 by 3. So no need to go for the second derivative test, time waste. So directly one stationary point is 4 by 3. Substitute the stationary point in the function directly. Along with that, you can substitute end points directly. Okay. So which one gives the maximum value? That gives the global point of maxima within that interval. What is f of 4 by 3 value? F of 4 by 3 you verify. End points. End points you can substitute directly. F of minus 1 you verify. F of 1.5 you verify. So the question is the maximum value output. So among these three values, which value gives the maximum output? That is the maximum value. Already I have verified. At minus 1 you will get 3. So At 4 by 3 and at 1.5, you will get the values less than 3. So, the maximum value is 3. You also cross verify it. Now, coming to the next problem. So, maximum value for this question is 3. Okay. This is a system Ax is equal to B. Already system is consistent given. System consistent means what is the meaning? Solution exists. If the solution exists, so which of the following conditions satisfy? So, take the augmented matrix directly. What is AB? For this, AB is nothing but 1 1 1 3 minus 2, that is 1 1 1 3 minus 2 minus 3. Next B, what is B? B1, B2, B3. Okay, now convert the matrix into echelon form first. R2 implies R2 minus R1, is it? R3 implies R3 plus 2R1. Clear or not? So, what it would be? 1 1 B1. Don't touch the first row. Now, coming to the second row, this is 0. 3 minus 1 is nothing but 2 or not? Next is nothing but B2 minus B1. Okay. Now, coming to the third row, R3 plus 2R1 means it is 0. Minus 3 plus 2, it is 1. Clear? Minus 3 plus 2. Next, B3 plus 2R1 means plus 2B1. Now, we have to make this element as 0. What it is? R3 implies 2R3 minus R2. 2R3 minus R2. That is 1 1 B1 0 2 B2 minus B1. 0 2R3 means okay 0. 2R3 means what it is? 2B3. Okay, plus 4B1, is it? Minus R2 means minus B2 plus B1. Minus B2 plus B1, is it? Yes. Already it is in echelon form. Already one hint given. System is consistent. System is consistent means already rank of A is 2. Consistent means solution exists. So, rank of A2 means this is A. If you include last column, that is AB. Already rank of A2 means rank of AB must be 2. When it is possible, it should be 0. Okay. It is 0 means what it is? 2B3. Okay. Plus 4B1 plus, minus B1. This is nothing but 2R3. So, 2B2, 2B3 plus 5B1 minus B2. R3 implies 2R3, 2R3 plus R2. Na? I did a mistake. This is plus R2. So, this is nothing but this one. 2R3 minus R2. Just a minute. Minus B2 plus B1. Okay, that is nothing but 2B3 minus B2 plus 5B1 is equal to 0. One of the option will coincide. Maybe this option is maybe any calculation mistakes. Once again I will verify. This is R2 implies R2 minus R1, that is right. 2 minus 3 minus 1 2, B2 minus B1. R3 implies R3 plus 2R1, that is minus 2 plus 2. Okay, this is minus 1. This is minus R3 plus 2R1 means this is minus 1. Now, B3 plus 2B1, that is right. Now, R3 implies here 2R3 plus R2. That's here we did a mistake here. That is B3 plus 2B1, 4B1. Okay, plus R2 means plus B2. This is minus B1. Now you see 2B3 plus 3B1, 2B3 plus 3B1 plus B2 is equal to 0. One of the option will coincide. 2B3 plus 3B1 plus B2. Option D coincide. Okay. Now coming to the next problem. let lambda is an eigenvalue of A and corresponding eigenvector x, and x is also an eigenvector of another matrix, another square matrix B is equal to A minus 2A, then the corresponding eigenvalue. So first hint, what is given? Lambda is an eigenvalue of A and corresponding eigenvector is x, means what is the condition? Ax is equal to lambda x. Okay, let it be 1. And one more, same x is an eigenvector of the another matrix, that is B is equal to A minus 2y. Is it? Okay, same x is an eigenvector means, okay, you can take again Bx. So Bx is equal to lambda x, say a scalar which satisfies Bx is equal to lambda x, that is an eigenvalue of the eigenvalue corresponding to the eigenvector capital X. So what is Bx here? Bx is nothing but A minus 2i into x. What is A minus 2x into 2a into x? Ax minus 2ix. 2x is nothing but, I into x is nothing but x only. What is Ax? Ax is nothing but lambda x already, lambda x minus 2x. That is lambda minus 2 into x. Now you see this is in a form Ax is equal to lambda x. So what is the eigenvalue corresponding to A minus 2i? Lambda minus 2. A minus 2a is nothing but B or not? So lambda minus 2 is an eigenvalue. Okay. Coming to the next problem. A random variable capital X is taken the values, this is a discrete random variable with probability mass function is given as follows. Means one table form I will give. X values, P of X values. What are the values of X? 0, 1, 7, 11, 12. Okay, P of X values at 0 value is given as 0.4. This is the small print mistake. This is 0.4 only. Okay, at 1 what it is? 0.3. At 7 what it is? 0.1. At 11 0.1. At 12 also 0.1. Say this. Total sum should be 1. Yes, it is 1 or not? Yes, what is the question here? Variance of x. What is variance formula? V of x is nothing but sigma x square into P of x minus mu square. That is sigma x square into P of x minus mu. What is mu? Sigma x into P of x whole square. So you just apply the already x values, P of x all are available, just you substitute them, as I have got like this 31.7. Okay, you also cross verify. This is 3.3 I got, so whole square. Finally 20 point something, 20.81 I got. Is it? Right. You see this is the last question I think. Yes, this is the 8th question. Sum of the infinite series. Actually once you observe clearly, this is 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial, 1 by 2 factorial, 1 by 3 factorial. What is e power x expansion infinite series? 1 plus x by 1 factorial, x square by 2 factorial, x cube by 3 factorial plus and so on. Is it? What is e power 1? 1 plus in place of x, if you substitute 1, 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 square is nothing but 1 only. Therefore, what is the question here? This part is a question. So 1 by 1 factorial plus 1 by 2 factorial plus 1 by 3 factorial plus 1 by 4 factorial plus and so on. This infinite series is nothing but that e minus 1. E minus 1, any option is there? Yes. Option A is correct. These are the questions in mathematics. I hope you all did well. Next, our aptitude. Okay, next faculty will take this session.
let us take a question that has appeared from FM1, Fluid Mechanics 1. The question is on the concept of Bernoulli equation. The question is saying, for Bernoulli equation to be applicable in a fluid flow situation, which of the following conditions is or are to be satisfied? Now this happens to be an MSQ. Multiple answers may be correct over here. Now we see for Bernoulli equation to be valid, it is coming from Euler's equation, so the flow must be steady and the flow must be frictionless, and also the flow has to be incompressible because density is taken as constant, and the flow must be irrotational. Okay, so rotational is not a correct answer, so the correct answers over here are option A, B and C. This was the only question we had from FM1. Thank you.
Hello friends, let's have a look at the part of aptitude that was asked in forenoon session. There were 5 questions, 5 1-mark questions from aptitude and 5 questions from like 5 2-mark questions. Totally there were 10 questions. We have received 4 questions from the students. As per the feedback of the students, I am just showing you those 4 questions. Coming to the first one, like one question from English we have got. So I am going to watch my favorite show dash television tonight. It's a problem which is based on prepositions, so it should be on, right? So it should be on television. So for that answer should be option B. Coming to second one. A person went to a restaurant and found minute hand and hour hand are coinciding on a clock. He came out when the minute hand and hour hand coincided again. For how long does he remain inside the restaurant? In clocks you might have studied, so minute hand and hour hand of a clock coincide 11 times in 12 hours. So in a 12-hour duration, they will coincide for 11 times in 12-hour duration, which means it will happen for 11 times in a span of 720 minutes. That means they will coincide one time for every, divide this 720 with 11, that will give you 65 5 by 11 minutes. So the minute hand and hour hand of a clock coincide for every 65 5 by 11 minutes. That is the fact. Hence, he was there in the restaurant for a duration of how long? 65 5 by 11 minutes we can say. That is option A. Next. This is from spatial aptitude. In the following sequence, what is the next figure? So here if you observe, here we are having 90 degrees over here. Here we are having 135 degrees. Next we are having 180 degrees over here. In the next one we should have 225 degrees. Between the two lines we have. So if you observe it, so this can't be your answer, this can't be your answer is between this and this, and there is a doubt over here. So what is the answer? To come to that conclusion, you just check how the lines are moving. This first line over here, it is moving by 90 degrees and coming here, and this second line is moving by 135 degrees, I can say. Next again, this line is moving by 90 degrees and coming to this place here, whereas this is moving by 135 degrees. That means these two lines are moving by 90 degrees and 135 degrees in clockwise direction. So here I can now say, here this line will move by how many degrees? 90 degrees, and it will come to this place. It will become a straight line. So this is the one. And this will move by, the second line should move by how many degrees? 135 degrees over here. So if it is moving by 135 degrees, it will come here. So the answer will be this one. It should be option C, right? This is not the one. Next. There is a small mistake in the diagram here. So while our people are drawing, they did the mistake. It should be 90 here. It should be 135. Next, going ahead with last one. A thin wire is used to construct all edges of a cube of 1 meter side by bending, cutting and soldering the wire. If the wire is 12 meters long, what is the minimum number of cuts required? What is the minimum number of cuts required they are asking for? Minimum number of cuts required, and we are having a wire of length 12 meters over here. So without cutting, so the 12 meters are there, no? So just take out 9 meters. So I need one cut for that. With the help of that 9 meters, how many, see, in a cube we will be having 12 edges. If there are 12 edges on a cube, with this 9 meters I can form 9 edges. So what are those 9 edges? These 4 edges. Without cutting the wire, by bending I will just form these 4, right? So by taking the link, this is one more edge, so I am going to get 4 more edges over here. So let me continue this better. Just hold on. Right. So these are the 4 edges. Along with that, I am getting 4 more edges over here. So now you are having these 4 edges over here, right? So opposite to that, by connecting, I can get 4 more edges. This 4. These 4 edges connected by this edge and these 4 edges, that is 9 meters over there. So for me to form the cube, I need these 4 edges. Now for those 4 edges, out of the 12 meters, I have cut that 9 meters. With the help of 9 meters, I have formed, I can say like top and bottom or side or whatever it may be. So 4 edges being connected by one line with another 4 edges, I can say. 9 meters will be equal to that 9 edges over there. To form that remaining 3 edges, we are having 3 meters that is left. To get the 3 pieces over there, the 3 meters should be cut by how many times we have to cut? 2 cuts are needed, so that with the help of that 3 meters we can get 3 edges, each measuring 1 meters over there. So in total we need how many cuts over here? Out of the 12 meters, by cutting this we are getting that 9 meters. With the help of 9 meters we have formed 9 edges, followed by to join the remaining 3 edges over here, we need 3 edges of 1 meter each. So that 3 meter piece whatever is left should be cut by 2 times, so that you will get 3 pieces over there. So in total we need a minimum of how many cuts? 3 cuts over here. So for this answer should be what? 3. So these are the 4 questions we have received. So other questions as we get, we will see. Right? Thank you.